Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. For those traders who are subscribers, and welcome to the new subscribers. We have a few new subscribers in the room who are in the installment program. Welcome. You're getting your first week of free webinar. You're getting it here also, which is good. So I hope you enjoy it and you'll have it forever until you finish pay, and then you'll be in our group, right? So let's go. Please help share it as well. And the more you share it, the better it is for all of us. Let's see. Dollar index. Dollar index, we were looking for a breakout here, which we actually didn't get. This would not be considered a breakout here. Put it in under 1 hour because it did close, but it went right back up. So even if you're looking for 3 sideways in this, I don't think you would have taken, but if you take it and the next one, you close it, right? So what we would look for is it starts to go back up. So on the next one, you close it. So even if you took the trade here, on the next one and the next one, you'll close the trade because it's not going. And after the 3 sideways, it has to go like this, right? It's not going, it's going back up, you'll close the trade. I think we saw this. We saw this coming. Like I said, even the breakout, if you put it the right way, the breakout is not there in the 1 hour, right? It's mostly inside of it. So even if you took that trade, you close it. It's going back up. So the question we have now, are we going to go down? Or is it going to go back up? Let's look at the 4 hour and see what it's doing. Look at this pullback. It still went up, right? So this pullback here could still go down. These pullbacks still go down. This pullback still go down. We got a big pattern there. It's going down. Now, are we making some kind of a bigger pattern here to come down? It's still likely going to go down. As of today, we don't have any buy or any sells. I don't think we should be trying to sell it here or so, because this is kind of a small one. I could see this coming. I might even see them stay here for a while. If we get a good setup on any one of the trades, we'll take it. Can this still go up more? It can go up more. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually come back and break this stuff. We just don't have a setup for a buy. There isn't a setup here for a buy, because if this is going to go up, it's probably going to pull back first and then go. Break the top, and then it could still come down, right? We still have the possibility of going to break this bigger low. Where is it? This one. Why do I have 2 lines on there? Take this off. Oh, that was for something else. Oh, yeah, that was I was doing the daily webinar, right? So we still have the opportunity of coming and break this, and I still think they will break it. I hardly believe it is going to be a contracting flat, but if it is going to be, we have a lot of opportunity to get it. We don't have any right now. There is a possibility that this could still go and break the top here, right? Maybe we'll consider whether we have a running flat here, and then we go down. So with that possibility in mind, the trade setup will come if it pulls back first. If this pulls back here, and then that would be the trade setup. Silver went up, we close it. Like I tell you, if it starts a channel, you get the hell out of it. There was a sell setup here, but if you took it, you closed it for break even because it didn't go anywhere. I think now we have to be careful. I'm looking for a possible sell setup here, but if this doesn't go, you all know the rules. If they consolidate in here in this piece, we're looking for a flat or running flat. Most often a running flat, right? Especially if this was like that. Do we have a trade setup in here? I don't think so. I wouldn't take this trade here. If they come back like this and start to drop, then we will consider this trade here. And if when it breaks this low or come close to that low, put it to break even. Because the chances are they can go back up and then come. Every time we see that, we know there's a possibility for it. So right now, you don't have a clear sense of the direction. Are we still in some kind of a bigger consolidation? Is this whole thing here becoming a bigger consolidation? Or is it ready for the go? And we don't have any sell setup or buy setup as yet. We don't have any clear setup, put it that way. It's mostly a sell setup, but it's not very clear and it's not ready to go. Gold was a good buy setup yesterday. If you bought that, remember the warning I told you in the trading room as well as tell it. If you bought it, put it to break even. Because it's not going as impulsive, especially once it starts to consolidate here. After they break out, you put it to break even. If you didn't, you still got break even this morning, right? Close it for break even. As you can see, the possibilities we're going down now. This has a better sell setup than the silver, right? Like this had a better buy setup than the silver yesterday. The sell setup here is better. So if you want to go for this sell and it's going to come back to this level, put it to break even. Because after that, you might even get this. And then you could get that. We know that that's possible. But could this also be all the correction? And this one drop? Rare, but it happens. Most likely it will end up being a bigger flat here, but it's likely it's going to go, so we can trade it back to this low. And I like this sell setup. It's a better sell setup. Do we have a sell right now on it? No. We don't have a solid close, but we can use an entry order. And if it goes, you will be in the trade. So this candle will be the first solid close candle that is going to close in 30 minutes out of the trend. And then you have to have 45 minutes before you buy it again. So what would be the best thing to do? I think the best thing to do is probably put an entry order in case this candle takes off really fast. Euro dropped. We spoke about this being a sell setup, a short-term sell setup, probably come here and go back up, but it dropped a little more. So the question is, are we in a bigger correction? We're trying to go down. I think this here will probably go back here, and then we will realize we might be making a bigger correction here. Put it on the 4 hour. I think we're going to just get a bigger correction here and then go up. All right, make some kind of a bigger correction here, because I don't see this as a sell setup. We don't have a sell setup here. If there's anything there, it's more of a buy setup, but we can consider the buy, but this came very low. I would consider the buy if they stop here. All right, but it came very low. So even if they go back up, it might just be a flat. So the buy setup is not the best one here, and the sell is not a good idea there for sell. The one you want to sell is this one. All right, this is the one you want to sell, because we're talking about selling the pound. If you want to sell the pound, and you actually have a flag there for a sell that broke this morning, I still think it's valid. This one was a good setup for us. That was your sell. I don't know if I think I didn't see you guys put it on, so I assume you missed it. But be careful if you did put it to break even. You see this here? If this is the top, and with this consolidation here, breaking the low, we have a chance they're going to do this and then drop. There's a very, very good chance that they will break that and then drop. So we'll keep an eye out for that one. If that is not the top, then, well, this will have to be the top, unless we're looking at a corrective structure like this, and we're looking for one more down like this, and then up. Right? But still is a trade. The short-term trade is the sell. So maybe if it closes here or go back a little up, the sell might be very valid for us. Aussie, it's coming down back, and it's likely going to tag the low. Like I said, if you want to sell it, you have to be careful. If you sold it yesterday, you close it. If you try to sell this, you're probably in it. It's going to come here. Not the biggest trade, but once it comes here, we're looking for the buy, because this is clearly a consolidation. There is no question about what that is. So let it come. Don't sell it. Let it come, tag the low, and then we're looking for the buy setup, right? Don't forget we're in the webinar. If your microphone is open, I thought I heard a sneeze. Is it in my? Oh no, it's not in my indicator. So this is clearly going to be a buy setup. Let it come here, and then we're looking for the buy. We're not interested in the sell here. New Zealand, we are still in a buy setup. It hasn't gone anywhere. Literally, they're just going sideways in this piece, right? I don't know whether this is going to break out or whether this is still going to stay here for a while. But that consolidation in a sharp move like this is very good. It's telling us that they're consolidating for the upside. You would have seen many of those consolidations previously, right? When they consolidate like that, you're thinking they're going to go up. So would it be a bigger consolidation? I don't know, which means this could stay here for a while, go back up like that, come back down here, and then go. Right? We could see this happen, but we will still take this trade. We will still go for that piece. Pretty much like what happened here. You got a 1, you got a 2, you got a 3. I wouldn't be surprised we get a 1, we get a 2, we get a 3, we get a 1, we get a 2, we get a 3, and then they go. Right? It's possible, but we will still take the buy, because the worst case scenario is we're going to get out for break even. So it is still a good buy setup, and we would look for the buy setup today if we get it. If it comes lower, you don't have a sell setup, not in this piece, not here. There isn't any sell setup in that. Swiss, I think we should already be in that trade. Yeah, we're already in that trade, and we're expecting it to go. We'll see how far this goes. Like I said, it could come, tag the top, and maybe go back down. But we're assuming that if we take the trade, it's going to continue to go, right? The reason we're taking this trade, for those of you who haven't watched, is that we're expecting this to go. We're thinking that this thing is going to give us a bigger move up. Now, sometimes they just do 1, 2, 3 and drop. Keep going down, right? Here might be a good example. 1, 2, 3, they came down, right? So it could be that they're going to continue to go down. We don't know that. And we would never know that because you don't know that this is the low of this impulse coming down. That's an unknown factor. It will be known when this takes off. You'll only know that that is the low when this takes off and go. So that is why we're buying it, because if it takes off and go, we will know, but then it's too late to buy. So you have to buy now and hope that that is the low. In the worst case scenario, that's not the low. We have plans how we're going to get out of that trade. Once it comes to the top here, we're going to put it to break even. What if it stays in that consolidation? Well, we have a stop here, which we will not, we'll close it way before it gets back to that level. So we're still expecting the upside. We didn't buy yesterday, although we saw this. For those of you who are watching, we didn't buy this yesterday. I don't know if I discussed it in yesterday's webinar or in our trading room, but we talked about why we're not buying this, because the potential was that it would just come here and go down, then go. Right? This was possible. And why waste your time on something that could drop? So let it make an impulse, let it make a correction. And I still think this, although we're tagged here, I think this could come back here and then go. So once it comes here, either they're going to break out and come back down, or they're going to break out and continue to go. We are hoping they're going to continue to go. If they don't, then no problem. We're out of the trade. We'll move our stops, get out of the trade, and then see. So what if this drops from here to the bottom? I think that's rare. Based on the pattern we're looking for, that is not something we're looking at that could happen. So in any case, we have a stop. But that's not something we're expecting to happen. Yen. So the yen trade, we had the entry order in the yen trade. You could have closed it before the night, or you could have kept it. If you kept it, you're tagged in the trade. I'm personally tagged in, and I'm still in it, right? So what am I looking for? If this starts to become a big consolidation, I'll close the trade for a small loss. Stop losses are here. So I'll just close the trade for a small loss like that, and probably even look for the sell setup. If it goes back and break the top, I'll stay with the trade. Now, can it go back, break the top? Possible. It's possible. I'm not saying it's impossible. It's kind of rare, but it's possible, depending on what pattern we'll be looking at. And I don't really see a clear pattern here whereby this is the consolidation. So most likely it's going to go lower. And that means if we go lower, we will consolidate here. You can see these consolidations, right? You can see them. You can see this consolidation here. We will consolidate here, and then we're going to drop. If we get that consolidation here within the day, and it breaks today, we will sell. If not, tomorrow we'll sell it. So if you guys are going to be tracking this and you see that consolidation, you're probably not in that entry order above the top. You see that consolidation, you can get into the trade. If you're tagged in that, this will be your closing opportunity, because we just discussed this in detail in our trading room just now, more than half an hour. I took a little long way to discuss it with a lot of elaborations in it, which we're not going to do here. But basically, this is what we have. I can close the trade anytime. Right? It's going to be a very small loss. It didn't go. The reason we put that is because it could have taken off, but it didn't take off. There's still a possibility they're going to come one more down. Right? We looked at the pattern in detail. CAD. Okay, we didn't take this trade, but some of my traders might have taken it. That's a trade we were looking at, and CAD is going. So here's what you want with the CAD. You want it to break out. We want this to break out. We want it to consolidate here, and then we are keen for the next big move up. CAD does have a big move up. If you look at yesterday's webinar, which is the webinar on the long-term view and the daily charts, if you missed it, please watch it and share it. I think there are a lot of people who were commenting very positive on that one, even people who not very, don't like my work that much. Surprisingly, I saw a comment from some of them that, it's amazing. They love the long-term view because they start to see it much clearer. Right, the long-term views. And if you go back and you look at my charts with the long-term view, you will see them clearer. The problem with short-term views is the strategy of how you're trading it, right? How aggressive you are and how not so aggressive you're going to be in a short-term strategy. But the long-term views, they pretty much work 99% of the time, more clearly almost, because it's easier to see the longer-term view than the short-term trades. Not that you don't see the short-term again, like the yen. It's going to go up. I guarantee you almost the yen is going to go up. We'll come back and we'll see it. We'll all come back and see it. The problem is, are you going to get in the trade at the right point? Will you get out at the right time? Are you going to take small losses, or are you going to get a bigger wins? That's just strategy-wise. But, if you're using a strategy, we're using your safe. Put it that way. We are working with safe strategies. So the breakout here doesn't mean anything. You just have to wait for it to consolidate before you get into this trade. Aussie Swiss, it's coming down a little more. I don't think it's going to go very far. Not interested in the sell, waiting for the buy setup. Aussie yen didn't go up. It's coming down back. So we'll just run this as a bigger correction. I think it is a bigger correction right now. You have one down. You have a correction. You have one down, a correction. You're getting one more down. Break the low, and then we would look for the upside. Right? This is still a corrective structure. It's just a bigger corrective structure, bigger than the smaller ones we were in. So I think it might even turn out to be a bigger one than like this. We'll have to figure that out. But once it comes down here, I think we can start to look for the buy setup. What if it's going to drop to this level? You might say, well, why do you think it's going to go? Why can't it just drop much lower? We have divergence in the daily. We have divergence in the 4-hour. Remember, I showed that in yesterday's webinar that they have divergence, so you be careful. They might even go for much deeper one. Well, we will see that, and this is not the convincing structure telling me it's going down for that. But once we break this low, and they don't go back up, but they start to make corrections here, now that convinces me we're going down big time. Right, that would be the conviction, because that's a completion of this pattern that should go back up. So we'll see which one it is. Aussie CAD. Sorry. Well, if you got tagged in this trade, you had like 100 hours, I should say, to get out for positive. And by our rules, you should have been getting out the positive in the second one here. You shouldn't even be in the trade that long, right? You should go out for break even. And like I said, it's going to go very slow. Looks like we might even get one more down here. Slowly, we might get another more move down. I think it is likely now that because they didn't go, they consolidate, you're going to get one more down here. Short-term trade, it's your consideration if you want that trade. I don't like it. It might go very fast. It might go very slow. We had one of that previously that turned out and went very fast. In the Aussie CAD, I think not in the Aussie CAD. We had it in the Aussie New Zealand. I'll show you it. Where they went very slow like this, and then they made that flat, and they just dropped very sharp. So you might want to consider that trade, take this off. It's still going to go up. This is more a consolidation, a bigger consolidation. Aussie New Zealand. This one, we had one like that. Let me just show you. I think we were somewhere in, I think it was somewhere here, where they kind of make that move, and we thought, okay, this is making a consolidation. Then they made that pattern, and you see they just dropped really fast. So you might get lucky, right? This was looking like a consolidation, and then they drop really fast once they make that flag. So coming back to the Aussie CAD, I think it was the Aussie CAD, sorry, Aussie CAD. You might get the same thing. See that top there with that deeper correction here, and then they make this flat. So you might get a sudden drop out of the pattern like this, and then correction and go more. That is possible, right? We've seen that pattern before. We've seen it behave the same way. So you might want to consider the sell here. Aussie New Zealand. Okay, it's coming down more. Let's see how far. I still don't think it's the deeper move to the downside. It's just a deeper correction or start of a deeper correction. So if you're going to trade it, these are small trades. But if it makes a bigger correction here, that would be a good sign we should trade it down. If we get a bigger correction, then we can start to trade it downwards now and see how far it goes. Euros. So we took the sell and we got out for break even. We took the sell here yesterday. I put the trade to break even. This one took me out and it's going sideways. So like I said, there was a chance they could go up, but we will still take the sell because of this pattern. Take this off. That was we moved the stop loss to that level, and then we moved the stop loss to this. It's kind of going sideways here, and I don't see a big up move. I don't see a big down move because you got a correction inside of the correction, and that's not good. When you get a correction, when you get corrections inside of the corrections, you end up with running flat pattern like this one and like this one. They don't really go anywhere. See, they just stick. So this might just come back to the top, and then we'll see if it goes down. There is no buy setup on it as yet. I'm not trying to buy that. Euro New Zealand. Okay, if you took the sell on this, I don't know where you would take it, how you would take it, but there might be a chance you're going to get a sell set up here today. Now, this could be short term. Again, I don't like this sell setup simply because it's within this move. Right, they're still consolidating inside of the consolidation. So we're looking for a sell setup. We'll consider this today in the trading room. I don't like it, but it's a sell setup. EuroCAD. We went up, we're consolidating here. Remember what I said, if they make a consolidation here, you're looking for the buy setup. So it's here and you go. One more down, let it come back to this level, and then we're looking for the buy setup. I like this. I actually like this one. It has everything that I need for a setup to go, right? And we will trade it back to the top and likely break out. So I like this one. I mean, this is the CAD for Euro CAD, right? We're in the Euro CAD for a buy. Take this off. Euro CAD for a buy. I like it. I have to take off some of these because those are yesterday's one. We'll see where they go and put them on back today. They're still valid. But I like this one here today. Let me close this. Yen is still a buy. Aussie Swiss, I have to do it. I have to check it back. So Swiss yen will have to check it back though. So let's go. I like this for the buy. I actually really like this, and I can tell you that when you get these setups, you get in rear like this. If this comes back here and stay here for a while, this becomes a perfect buy setup to the top there. All right. If it goes or it doesn't go, doesn't matter. But the setup is perfect, and they work very often. So we'll see. Sorry. Go back to the 1 hour. Let it come down first. We actually want to see this come back here in this area, and that would be the best. Then you would look for the buy setup. All right, let's see if we get it to come back. Sorry. Euro Swiss, it's a sell setup, but you don't want it. Yesterday we didn't want it. Why are we going to take it today? Nothing changed. Nothing from that changed, so we don't want, not interested. Euro yen. Euro yen, it's a lot of sharp moves in here. So we got this one, we got that one, we have this one, we're getting another sharp one here, probably one more sharp one, and that would make sense. If we get one more like this, then the sell setup would be perfect. So let's stay out of it for a while. Euro pound, we might get the buy setup finally. Actually, you can actually take a risky buy here. It's going to be a little risky for the buy here, but not a bad trade actually. I wonder if any one of my traders was paying attention to this. I wasn't looking at it, but we're looking for a buy setup as well. Pangos, we're looking for the sell. We tried to sell this once. I think some of us got break even, some of us got a small loss, and I got taken out in the stop because I wasn't paying attention to. And now with a very small trade, trying to sell from the top. So we're getting another sell setup today. If we get it, it's not there as yet, but if we get a sell setup, we'll take the trade. Now, what I think this is going to do if we get this is that it's just going to drop like this and very likely go back up. So we'll have to take profit if it drops, right? Because it's going to go back up. And I think we'll probably see this maybe even 1, 2, 3 back up there before we go down. We'll probably end up with a running flat here. That is most likely what I think would happen, because this flat doesn't look like the impulse to the upside that we're looking for. But it's a sell setup, and if we get the sell today, we'll take it. Let's see, we don't have a sell as yet. It's still crawling up in that channel. Let it break, make a flag, we'll sell. Pound New Zealand. So yesterday I told you about it. I like the sell setup. The only thing I wanted to do is make another move back to the top, which we didn't get, right? So some of my traders took the trade here, and I said put it to break even. They got break even. This one dropped. It's kind of doing this. I still don't like it. Let it come here and make that move. I want to see them make this move back to the top. Come here, go back to the top there. It doesn't have to reach the top. It's not going to reach the top because we're looking for running flat. I want to see something like this. Come here and go back up like that. And then we can breaking out of this, but not reaching the top, giving me a running flat setup. And now we will trade it to the downside. So right now, there is no trade setup. I don't like it right now, but we're still looking for the sell. If I don't get that sell setup, we'll figure out what other sell setups there is. But we will look for sells. Any flags or so will take us out. Let's go. I think we're in the pound New Zealand, pound Swiss. It's coming down. Let's see. We didn't break the top, right? It didn't go to the top. The downside is limited. I'd be very careful with this. See, this is kind of making those moves. Go there, you kind of do this. It's going to probably come here and we could still get upside. So I would not be selling this here as yet. Better to, the pound Swiss and the euro pound tends to give you opposite trades, whatever the reason that is, right? So better to look for a buy in the euro pound. They're not, they give opposite trades, not correlated trades. They're not correlated, right? They give opposite trades, and I think that has to do with the pound movement in it. Euro pound, pound Swiss, right? Because the euro and the Swiss tends to move very similar in opposite direction as well too. Right? They don't exactly correlate, but they're similar because they're very close in their value. So, I mean, there is no big change in values in those two. Let's go. Tong yen. We're looking for the sell. We still don't have the sell set up. I can see them going up, going back up once more. We came down sharp. We go back up there, go back, go back. I can see this coming down. I can see it going back. We test it up and then go down. We're pretty much doing this. See this? Pretty much kind of going sideways in that channel. A smaller channel in the bigger one. So this was the bigger one. Let me show you that on the daily. This is the bigger one. And you're making a smaller one on the top there. And then you'll go to 1 hour and you'll find yourself in a much smaller one. Do we have a sell set up? Not as yet. I don't think so. I don't see anything to sell yet. We won't need a flag like that or a flag like this. Those were the two we sold. So we'll repeat the process. There was a small one here, but not the best one. If we get anything here now, we'll look for a sell back to this low, put it to break even. They go back up, we'll be out of the trade. They keep dropping, we'll be in the trade. Just have to wait for that. Punkad. Okay, so they dropped to the bottom and they went right back up. And we're looking at this pattern. 1, 2, 3. Come back up here, go back up there. So we're looking for this down now. So I think we're going to look for sell setups here today. There's a good chance this is not taking off, but this is coming back down here before you go. Very good chance for that. What if it is going to take off and this is the end of the structure? Nope, I don't see that. They've just broke this top, which is good. They didn't break the low, break the top. So we will look for sell setups today. Do we have any sell setup? Actually, there was one there. It still might be valid. We'll keep an eye on it or wait for an X flag, right? But this is a good sell setup. New Zealand Swiss. So we have a lot of sell setups on the pound pairs that are ready to go. Pound CAD, pound New Zealand, pound Swiss. The pound Swiss one is short-lived. I don't think we'll be very careful on this one, but the other ones are good. Pound New Zealand is a sell setup. We're looking for that. This is a very, very good sell setup. We just have to get the right one. We're coming back way back to this level and maybe even lower. I'm looking at this. They could either come back here and then go back up or break out. But this trade is a good one. Pound Oz, also a sell setup. Also a sell setup. So on the pound trades, there's a lot of sell setup. Keep your eyes on the pound dollar. We're also looking for a sell setup in the pound dollar, right? So keep your eyes on these trades. They have very big consolidations. New Zealand yen, let's see. Okay, it broke the top. You took the trade, you got break even. Yep, you take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hours. That's a break even trade, and it's coming down. So when it's coming down back, especially if you break out of this 1, 2, 3, they didn't go up as we expected. And remember, I said 1, 2, 3. They're going to probably go up a little more here and then come down possibly. Well, they didn't do that, so they're coming down already. Great. Just pull this all the way to here to get a trend line. Wait for a flag, and if it becomes a flag, we sell. Right? A flag or a correction, we can sell. So this would be a break-even trade. Take it off. By our rule, that's a break-even trade. Close it very often. New Zealand Swiss. This is going up. We didn't break the top, so there's still a chance of this going here and break that top. But I think after that, we're coming down back because this is not, if this is the impulse, you get this flag, they go. They don't correct in the correction. So I'll be careful of taking this trade. New Zealand, that's New Zealand CAD. Buy. This is a good buy. It's going up and it's still going. It's going very impulsive. So yeah, you can go, go, go. I still think it's a buy. This was the buy. There's still a buy there. New Zealand CAD yen. We're looking for the sell in the CAD yen. Big picture, I think all of you know we're looking for the sell. We don't have a sell setup. We're still within this up corrective piece, right? So for us to get a sell setup, you literally would have to break out of that, make a flag here, and then we look correction there, and then we look for the sell. Because this piece could come down, go back up for a while. CAD Swiss. If you get a flag here, it's a sell and you're getting it. Not a flag, you're getting a correction, which is good. You got your first move up, you're correcting here, go back up like that, get this correction in play, and then look for that trade. right? It's a good trade to the downside because it might move faster than the trade to the upside. You might get a very fast move like this, right, downwards. With a correction, of course, in the middle here. But this piece would probably drop like that, then make a correction and then go. So look for this trade here. Let's see what else we're looking at. Swiss yen. Stay away from it. Looks a little more upside right now. This piece here looks one more up. We came very close to the low, didn't break it. You don't have to break the low. So if you're looking for a buy setup, you got it here, but it's going to be a running flat. You have a correction here and you have a correction here. They're going to do this and then come back down like that. We'll get a running flat in that pattern before we go. So they'll break the top first, and then you'll get a running flat. So the buy, if you take the buy, you'll have to take the profit off immediately. If this one is still going up, put it back in the 4 hour. Oh, you're getting a sell setup here in the 1 hour. 1 hour, 4 hour, you're getting a sell setup. It's short term for now. They can drop really fast, but it's a nice short term sell. You want it to go up slightly more. I would like this to go up back slightly more. This piece here, right? This piece here. I want this to go back and tag the top. Come back to this top. Because if we look at this as a 1, 2, 3, then we need a 1, a 2, and a 3 before we go down. So let it go back up a little more, break this top or come close to those tops, and then we're looking for the downside, depending on whether it's to be a contractive cut or a regular flat. US oil, nothing. So no buy setup, no sell setup. They actually consolidate here. Now you have a buy setup, but they're not going, so they'll probably still stay here, and then you get one more down. I still think we'll consolidate one more down, and then we'll probably take off. We don't have any trade setup in that to go in any direction long term. It's still in consolidation. Same here. Okay. So if you put your entry order here, you should have taken it out and put it here, and you're in the trade. So this is another entry order. You get another flag. That's another entry order. So let me just remind you again about this trade. And the interesting thing about wave analysis, we're not interested in the sell. If you follow me from last week, we were here. Somewhere Monday, we were here. We're not interested in the sell. And you wouldn't have got a good trade in the sell. We're interested in this buy if it takes off. Well, it might be taking off. So if you're in the buy, you can put it to positive, right? You can put your trade back at break even now, and you can't lose anymore in that trade. See? That is the trade we're looking for. This could keep going for a long time. Let's go. This one, if you took your trade, like I said, you have to take profit off immediately because they're short-term trades. If you took that, you have to take profit off. See what happens. You would have taken a loss if you didn't take profit. Now they'll consolidate here, and then we'll see what it gives us. Nothing is there. This actually came back down. It broke the low. So we're still in the consolidation. Look for a setup here, and then look for a buy. S&P 500. This didn't break out. This actually came down without breaking out. Let's see, is it making some kind of, no, they're just pulling back. That's just regular. Just the regular thing, right? When they start to do that, I don't know if we can match this with this. It's possible. It's possible that, so you can look for a buy setup here, short term, maybe something like this. A buy setup, take the profit off because this thing could fall anytime. Okay, this was a sell setup. I don't know if you got the trade. You probably got the first piece, pull back. I don't know if you got the second piece, pull back, it broke the low. Wait for it to go up, make a flag, take the trade up. AU 200, it's consolidating. Look for a buy setup. Look for a buy setup. Nifty pull back and went and pull back again. All pullbacks, once they start to go up, you can take them as buy setup. If you wait for the setup and then, what if this is the top? If that is the top, then what you want to confirm, like if this was the top, you want to see a correction here and then drop. You want to see a correction and then drop. You want to see a correction and then, no correction, they'll go back up. Look for buy setups. If they stayed incorrect long enough, then we look for the sell. This low is going up. It's consolidating. So you've got a nice flat in the middle here, which is perfect. It's better if it comes back here now and give you a perfect buy setup. If it comes back a little more down, you will have a perfect buy setup. Amazon, it should come back down. I think, yeah, we're expecting this to come back down. We need to break this low. So I wouldn't be surprised if this comes back and do it. If that comes back and do it, we might be looking at this, which means we'll have to go back up. Watch this low. All right, they need to break that low. So the first trade, let's give it some perspective. I think this should come back and break this low. I'm expecting this to come back and break this low. And then expected it to go back up and break this top. What if they break this low instead? All right, we'll come back and look at it. So right now I'm looking at these possibilities. Contracting flat. 1, 2, 3, regular flat. 1, 2, 2, 3, regular flat. And then come back here and then go. So for now, we're going to put these and we're going to leave them here, track them for the rest of the week and see how that changes. I'll probably be, if there's changes, I'll show you how it changes. If there's no change, you will see how it goes. And we will see whether this works the way we expect it to. Because if all of that worked out there, then you want to buy from the bottom here going up, right? You want to buy from somewhere here going up. Remember, this is forecasting based on what we have right now. If what we have right now doesn't go the way we expect it and change direction, give us some more information, then we'll decide whether there's a new pattern forming. But right now, that is the pattern I can see that is very likely to form. If we get sell set up here, you need a setup before you trade it. If you get a sell setup, you should be selling it. That's the whole point. You do your forecast and then you wait for the setup and then you take the trade. SLR, consolidating for the sell. So it's probably going to consolidate more and then you get the sell. I think all of them is the same, A to M. I think we should come back a little higher before we drop. So you might get a little upside first. Well, consolidating, so we will have a bigger running flat. I assume this is going to come back here, and we might just consider all of this. A big running flat here, and then upside. Reliance, nice reversal, right? Expected it, expected it. So we've got that move up. We wanted to break the top. So remember when this was happening, and we were here last week. All of you were here last week, so you can go back and check these things. You know, this is the good thing about the analysis we do. You can go back and check it. There's a reason I put that line there. We wanted to go break the top of that line and then come back down. Actually, if you took the sell there, you did amazing. There might have been a sell setup there. Yep, there was some consolidation there. If you took the sell here, you did amazing. If you didn't, no problem. Because I'm not sure it's finished. We're looking at this 1, 2, 3. I'm thinking 1, 2, and a 3-wave structure to the top. So anywhere you get flag, you sell. Now, if it is a little more complicated than that, then they will go back up once more, but I'm not expecting that to happen. Look for sell setups, look for flags, look for corrections, sell. We're going for this one now. Or we're going for the start of a downtrend. Let me see in the bigger picture. We'll have to check the bigger picture for that. Could be the start of a downtrend. I'll have to check the daily and the yearly chart to tell you that. Let's go ahead. Right, but you're looking for sell setups. Bitcoin, we wanted this to go back to this level here to make that pattern. So far it has gone up slightly. So this is still a flat in here. If this comes here, we're still looking for this trade. See, you've got a flat in here. I don't think this is an equivalent of that one. I don't think this here is an equivalent of this. It could be. It's a little too small. We're always looking for equal size in these running flats. See this one? We wanted a little bigger than that. So if this one doesn't give us it, wait for it to drop and still expect it. So it's going to drop now. You have a sell setup. See? You have a sell setup here. You can look for this trade. Like you had this sell setup, you can look for this trade. So I think we're just going down here now. Come back to about this level. Make that up move because I'm still looking for this one. and then go down back. See? So there is a sell setup right now in it, and you should have sell setups on XRP. I'd be careful with the XRP. You got the sell, but it's going to go up. See this? There's a likelihood that this is going to go up first. Let's see where we are in the bigger picture. Yep, it could go up. We go back and tag this stop. So there's a good chance you might get a buy setup here in XRP. Look for the breakout of this for the buy. If you're trading it, this is a good one. You've got this pattern here. I'm expecting it to go back to the top and then get the bigger drop. So what is the bigger picture in this one? Very quick. Now, the reason you may want to buy this to the upside if you trade this, what if this is the low for a much bigger correction? What if this correction goes bigger than I think? I'm expecting it to come here and then drop to 10. And from 10, we will start to buy. And the reason we wanted the 10, you can look at the daily charts. I don't know whether I managed to do this yesterday in the daily charts. If I didn't manage to do this, then I'll do it today. But you want this trade back to this stop. And if you're lucky, they go all the way here before they come back down here. Right? I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. So this buy is a good one, but I don't think that is the buy that is going to break these stops. Right? I think we'll come back, break the low, then go. But there is a buy setup right now in it. And the 1 hour and the 4 hour, you have a buy setup. The 1 hour is the one you're looking at. Wait for the buy setup. ETH. Okay, let's see if this, well, we had a running flat here. We still have a running flat, sorry. We broke the top. If you get flags here, you can sell. LTC, let's see, this is downside and this is still downside. I still think this still looks more downside. So this is the one is a clear downside. Let's see if it goes. Come on. And I think that's about it. So guys, yesterday I did the one. If you watched me to the end here, please share, please like, please make your comments. I did a daily webinar yesterday, but I had to do half of it because there was a time limit. I don't want to make it through. So there's some stocks and so that I will do today. I'll try to do that today and put it out for you guys. If you have any special requests, like I said, if there's enough people who want the same requests, just send me them and then I'll look at them. You can send me on Skype. You can send me on Facebook. You have that in the description. They're always in the description. Click on the Skype link that is there and you'll have access to my Skype to message me. So thank you very much. I will stop the recording and I'll stop the live session and go back to our trading room right now. We are in the trading room. I'm recording from our trading room. So I will stop live stream and I will stop recording. Thank you. Have a good evening. Bye. Sorry, have a good day. Bye.